You're watching the HTC Desire 20 Pro disassembly. First, let's go ahead and remove that SIM tray. Now, in order to remove the backplate, we're going to have to apply some heat using a hairdryer or a heat gun so we can loosen up the adhesive underneath, and then we're going to use our plastic pry tool to pry the backplate off. Now, once we pry the backplate off, we're going to lift it from the left towards the right. And be careful because you still have your fingerprint reader cable attached to your main board. Now, what you're going to want to do is apply some heat to the surrounding area where the fingerprint reader is, so you can pry it off the backplate. Next, you need to get your pry tool in between the housing and the frame of the screen, and you're going to pop the catches along the sides and separate the housing from the frame of the screen. So here's that plastic housing. And your antenna flex cables are on the sides of this plastic piece. And these are the gold contacts that make connection with the board. There are 19 Phillips screws which need to be removed. Once the screws are removed, we can lift up the top cover. But be careful because the cable is still attached over here on the main board. First, we're going to disconnect the battery cable. Now we can disconnect the fingerprint reader cable. And then we're going to run the cable through the opening over here. So you have your NFC antenna over here, along with graphite film. And here's the backside. Now it's time to disconnect the rest of the cables. There's a wire cable over here in the corner that needs to be popped off. Let's peel off the copper tape. Here's a better look at your front-facing camera. There's a single Phillips screw holding on the main board located right here. Once that screw is removed, we can lift up and remove the main board. So on the main board, we have your secondary mic located over here underneath the shield. And your camera cables are located over here. And you can just pop them off if you want to disconnect them. You also have a thermal pad sitting over here, which is underneath your flash. And that will basically help transfer some heat away from the flash. There's also a sheet of graphite film over here on top of the shield. Here's a look at the chips underneath with the shield removed. Now here's the back. We have copper tape behind the cameras. We also have some thermal pads underneath the back shields. And you have a memory card and SIM reader over here. And with those shields removed, you can see there's thermal paste on top of the processor and the other chips. It's time to peel off this graphite film so we can lift up and remove the speaker assembly. So here's your speaker assembly. We have a flex cable over here we have to disconnect. There's also a wire cable here that needs to be popped off. And you have one Phillips screw over here holding down the charger port board. Now we can lift up and remove the charger port board. So here's your charger port. You have your main microphone located underneath this shield over here. Your headphone jack's here. And here's a look at the other side. So in order to remove the battery, we need to heat the front of the phone so the adhesive underneath the battery will loosen up and make it easier to pry the battery off. Here's a better look at the battery. So now you can see the screen cable is located over here. It's run through the slit in the mid frame. You have this flex cable over here, which connects your main board to your charger port board on the bottom. The flex cable for your buttons is over here. And this is your proximity sensor. It's held on with adhesive over here, so if you need to, you could just pry it off. You have your vibrator motor located over here on the bottom corner. And you also have some more graphite film over here, which sits underneath the sim reader. So if you ever had to replace your screen, at this point all you would have to do, heat up the front of the phone where the screen's at, and pry the screen off, making sure you run your cable through the slit over here in the midframe. You get your new screen, apply new adhesive, reapply it to the front, and reassemble your phone. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the phone back together. Once all the screws are back in place, we're going to put the housing back over and pop it in place. And then we're going to reattach the fingerprint reader to the back plate. And apply new adhesive to the back plate. And reapply your back plate to the back of the phone. We're going to flip the phone over, power it on, and we're done. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.